For the last couple of years on the Mexican Independence Day weekend, the UFC has hosted Noche UFC. For the most part, these are very stacked cards that end up being a ton of fun, and now we can go ahead and make a couple of extra bucks while watching those fights. PrizePicks is one of the best ways to do that. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than any of the numbers you see on the screen, you slap a few of them together, and you can make some very real money. They will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is build yourself a little baby $5 entry, and they will give you $50 instantly that you can use for whatever you want. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Use promo code WWP to get that $50 free. I'm about to give you an entry, and we're doing a very straightforward, nice and clean power play. If you want, throw $5 at that. Then you'll have $50 instantly. Or throw $5 at anything you want and use the 50 on this, because I am very confident in this entry. Either way, get the free money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP. The latest addition to PrizePicks, which I've talked about these last couple of weeks, is this popular tab. I love the popular tab because what the popular tab does is it just shows you what other people are doing. Now, it doesn't necessarily tell you if they're doing more or less, but it does tell you where the action is. Right off the rip, we're hitting the very first one. The most popular line at Noche UFC is the Jean Silva 1.5 rounds, and they're only offering a more. And we're going to go ahead and hit that. If you head over to a sports book, and I like to use sports books at times as a reference, because while this is daily fantasy, there are still lines here, and you can look at these lines, compare them to the actual official lines the sports books have set, and determine if there's value or not. In this case, they have established a 1.5 round line, and they're giving you the over. If you go over to a sports book, the official round line is 2.5, and the over is expected to hit 70% of the time. So 1.5 rounds, we're going to slam the shit out of that. We're doing the more on the 1.5 rounds on the Jean Silva Diego Lopes fight. The rest of these lines I don't quite love as much. There's a lot of significant strike lines, and these get tricky. For example, in the main event, we already have the round lines. I trust that. You can't double up the same fight, so we're going to leave that alone. Tatiana Suarez, 36.5. She might get an immediate takedown and a submission. Or she might struggle to get takedowns and then end up in a boxing match the whole time. Cedric Dumas is the worst fighter on this card. Objective, factual statement. Doesn't mean he can't land 17 strikes. Amanda Lemos, same thing. She's defending takedowns. Is she going to get submitted almost instantly? Or is she going to get her hands going? I don't love any of these. What I do love, though, is the Kelvin Gastelum more. This is the exact same situation as the Jean Silva. This is a 2.5 round line on the sports books, and the over has 2-1 odds. So the fact that we can hit the over here, and the fact that we can take $20 and turn it into $30 is unbelievable. This is the easiest money we're going to get. So this is going to go ahead. We're going to add these to our slate. Let's take a look at some of the other lines. Significant strikes. I don't like any of these. Alice Pereira making her UFC debut, 19 years old, short notice. Montserrat Rendon, a push-forward wrestler. Now, if they had takedown lines, I would go ahead and look at that. So let's move over to takedown lines. We only have 3 fighters here. Tatiana Suarez, 3.5 is a lot. I went into her fight history. It's very rare for her to get this many. She did it against Carla Esparza, but Carla's a nasty wrestler. And she did it one other time 5 years ago. So I am leaning the less on the takedown line, but given Amanda Lemos's history, given the fact that she's got a ton of experience, it's not crazy to think that she stands up a few times. Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon. He used to be a push-forward, aggressive, grinding wrestler. He's not really that fighter anymore, but he might turn into it if he feels the Jared Gordon power. And Diego Lopes have a takedown. His takedowns kind of suck, so I want to do the less, but this is still a 5-round fight against a much better striker. It's not absurd that he could sneak in one takedown. I am going to avoid everything else. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the way to go when we're talking daily fantasy prop gains, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'm doing the more on total rounds for Jean Silva, the more total rounds for Kelvin Gastelum. This is a safe entry, so we're not going to get the world's largest payout, but if you do want to switch things up a little bit, juice the payout a little bit. You can head back over to the total rounds tab, come down. You can see here, we already have Kelvin and Jean Silva selected. If you click the little reverse Uno card symbol here, you can change the payout. Now, if we do 2.5 rounds, we do more. That upped our payout. If we do the same thing in the Kelvin Gastelum, 2.5 rounds, we do more. That upped our payout. I'm going to leave it the way it was. I would rather have slow and steady, safe money than chasing bigger payouts and missing. Guys, that is the entry. If we take a look, this is what we've got going on again. We have over 1.5 on both the Jean Silva and the Kelvin Gastelum fight. Most important thing here is get your free money. The promo code is WWP. The link is wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. If you've never played, it's fun. It's easy. You can hang out, hit some things on your phone while watching the fights, and you're now rooting not only for a specific fighter, but specific outcomes, which just enhances the whole experience. Or you lose and then you get pissed. But I'm confident in this one. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP.